Hey y'all, so let's talk about the ways that consistency and effort show up in our lives. So when we think about consistency over effort, effort is the key, but consistency is the door. So we do have to have effort. We have to have some form of motivation. We have to really give our all to something. But if we give our all to something and then we lack the consistency, then nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. You can have the key to the door with your effort, but if you lose that key and you're not going to be able to get into the door. And consistency is that door. It's the opening of those new opportunities. And you can have the key and not be able to open it because the effort is something that could be temporary. And so when we're thinking about those things in our lives that we want to happen, those things in our lives that we would love to see come to fruition, sometimes we say, okay, I just need to give this a little bit of effort. I just need to have the motivation. But then after the motivation is gone and after the effort no longer feels good to us, then we don't get the thing. And the reason that happens is because we lack the consistency. And so consistency is really thinking about, what does the structure look like? What is the plan? And how are we going to show up every single day with that same behavior? My daughter and I were having a conversation about working out the other day. And she was saying, that there are different body types, and if this body type works out every day, then it'll take this shortened period of time for them to change their body structure. And I was like, well, that could pretty much happen for everybody. If you eat healthy and you work out every day, like, it's probably going to change your body structure, but is that actually healthy for your body? And so I explained to her, the way for longevity to exist inside of that workout plan is for it to be consistent and not necessarily be, oh, I have to do this every day, but for the consistency and the structure to be one that's feasible. So if you say, I'm going to work out 4 days a week, every week, that's probably doable. And that effort can probably span over a period of time. When you build in that structure and you say, okay, here are the amount of times that I'm going to work out, then you're developing a even more structured plan. And if you commit to doing it every single week, that's where the consistency comes from. So when we had that conversation, I began to think about life and just how that's the same way for life. You're not going to be able to show up every day with your 100% effort. It's just not part of the human existence, right? Like, some days we're more tired than others. Some days our best and our all is not the same as our best and our all was the day before. However, if we have a structure for consistency, then our effort doesn't need to be as high, and we're not balancing everything on the effort and motivation. We're balancing everything on the structure and consistency. And when the structure and consistency is the foundation for what you're doing, the foundation is a lot stronger than an emotion of feeling motivated. And so when you think about this in relationship and just in your everyday story of you, oftentimes we are shameful and we have that feeling of guilt and doubt in ourselves because we've created this sense that as long as I put in the effort, then whatever the outcome is going to come. But we forget that effort doesn't last, and effort is based off of that emotion. And so sometimes when I record these videos, I don't feel like it, right? But I developed a structure where it's if something goes in my notes, then it goes on my calendar to record. Where before it was okay, what am I going to record about today? And one of my friends was like, why don't you just record these things in one day and write down the things that you're going to record? And when I put that structure into place, the consistency at which I was recording things, was there, and it didn't feel so arduous or so heavy. It felt okay, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to record. And I also give myself the leeway to say, if something pops up in the middle of the week and I feel oh, that conscious content needs to go out there, then I do that as well. But if I based my productivity off of effort and the motivation that I feel every single day, I probably would not record nearly as much, and they wouldn't be as meaningful. And so when we think about that in relationship, right, the motivation might strike us when we wake up in the morning to want to do something kind for that person. But then when we're tired and when we feel weighted down, then we say, okay, well, I don't really feel like it, so I don't want to do that thing. And then we don't do the thing. And then the intention becomes one of resentment if we do the thing. And the other person can sense whether you're doing it from a spirit of joy or whether you're doing it from a spirit of obligation. And you can sense that about yourself as well. So when you think about yourself and you're like, okay, I'm going to value myself today. I'm going to journal today. I'm going to do the yoga today. I'm going to do the workout today. And you're going to put in that effort, that probably will last you for a while. But once that motivation for effort leaves and there's no consistency, there's no structure built for the consistency, then the door's not going to open to the new places that you need to go. And so today I really encourage you to think about, what are your goals? And what effort are you willing to put into place for the key to those goals? But how are you building the door to get to that next opportunity? What's the structure look like that's going to take you to the next phase? Write it down. Put it plain in your notes. Put it plain in your agenda. Put it plain in your notebook, however you need to do it. But that's the only way that you're going to live the life that you want to live. It's the only way that you're going to live with intention, and it's the only way that you're going to live in alignment with what you want, because it's not about a feeling, it's about the goal. And when the goal is this thing, the consistency will open up doors to new spaces. And it's not always going to be based on that feeling of wanting to. It's going to be based on that feeling of wanting whatever that thing is at the end. Thank you for tuning in. Again, remember, if you'd like a copy of my book, Poems to Heal the Dead Things, it's attached, as well as you can look me up on all social media sites to follow for more healing content and peace content. And I will see you next week.